Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. As an intro today, I just want to let you know that this video is going to be uncut, unedited. I'm not going to do too much with it. This is just a story that I'm telling you about the hiatus I was on from January of this year. If you guys recall, you may or may not, up until June, I was away from YouTube. I was away from pretty much all social media. And that's what I'm going to be talking about in today's video. So I wanted to start the introduction by letting you know that. So a lot of this is stuff that I haven't talked to a lot of people about. I'm somebody who I go internally when things in my life start to get a little bit chaotic, and I try to figure out my place in all of it and see where I can, number one, learn a lesson, but number two, what I can do moving forward to put myself in a better headspace and also keep myself on path toward what I want out of life. So it started early. Technically, this goes back to October and November of 2020. Me and my family learned that my dad was critically ill, actually really, really sick. And we didn't really realize the magnitude of how sick he actually was. We had gone on a trip to California, and I had to take him to the hospital halfway going to California because he was having some breathing issues. So that led to us going to different doctors and having them do all different scans for us to learn that he had stage 4 lung cancer. And we knew that he was sick, but we didn't realize how sick he actually was. So at that point, we made the decision to start treatment. So he was going to do the chemo and radiation and all that good stuff. So I was definitely taken back by that big time. I knew he was sick, but I didn't realize how sick he actually was. So we knew when he was set to start treatment. So in the forefront of my mind, as well as my family's mind, we're going to be there for him. We'll take him to all of his treatments and all that good stuff. So I actually had to fly out to Indiana, where he lived, to make sure that he could get to his appointments and all that good stuff. So I flew out to Indiana actually in January. And I'm going to sidetrack a little bit here because this is another reason for the hiatus. Obviously in November and December and all that good stuff, that's when the election was happening. And I got pretty involved in the election. I had my own beliefs on it. I was very emotionally involved in it as well. And what it did is it led my mindset to a place where I'm not going to say I was somebody else in doing something that I shouldn't have been doing, because there's no judgment in anything that I was doing. But I spent months in this avenue of being really involved in a political type arena, if you will, and it led to a lot of arguments with people that I care about. And it's okay to be that. It's okay to argue with somebody, but if it's to the detriment of either party, then it's not okay. And I know that I was hurting other people, but internally I was hurting too, because morally I'm somebody who I don't want to hurt anybody else, and I don't want myself to be hurt either. And I could see the writing on the wall, that there was a lot of internal hurt going on at that time because of the things that were going on around me. So, in November and December, it was really a lot being thrown at me. between all of the emotional involvement I had in the political system, then obviously the diagnosis with my dad. So that's when I started to kind of put the pieces together, but they didn't come fully together until January. And that's when, to get back on track, that's when my dad started his treatments. And I had to fly to Indiana, and my intention was to be there for 2 weeks every single month until his treatment was over. So me and my brother actually flew out there to take care of him. And the first week went really well. He was his old self. I mean, he had that giddy personality. He didn't seem any different at all. So I thought everything was going fantastic. And then the second week of treatment came on that Monday. I took him to his treatment. Again, everything seemed to be okay. And he woke up on Tuesday and just decided that he didn't want to fight anymore. And that the chemo and radiation was too much for him. So that's when we made the decision that I should say he made the decision that it was that time. He was ready to let go. So on day number, it would technically be like day number 8 or 9 that I was in Indiana, my dad had passed away. And so I had to kind of pick up the pieces from there. It's something that being in that avenue and having to deal with that is something that I don't want anybody to have to go through. There's a lot that goes into it on top of you dealing with the fact that you just lost your parent. So that was difficult. For about a month or so, me and my family were dealing with all of that stuff. And so it really was something that, looking back at everything that happened between the political thing and everything that happened with my dad and me stepping away from social media, all of it led to this moment right now. And all of it is something I'm thankful for, because I was able to spend time with my dad on his last days, which were so amazing. But also it gave me an opportunity to grow as a human being and learn more sympathy and empathy. But also the power that I have as well, I think is something I really, really learned big time. The power to step away from social media and realize that was an addiction that I had. Me going on social media all the time to bicker with somebody about who the president of the United States is going to be and all this shit that doesn't matter. It really made me realize how much control that it had over me at that time. And what it taught me once I stepped away was that I am powerful and I don't have to succumb to an addiction that's ultimately not making me happy. And so the whole hiatus, to kind of wrap this all up, was a blessing, because it brought me back into alignment with my true power internally, and it gave me laser focus on my life and my affairs and what exactly makes me happy. And one of the biggest things was the time you have with others. Don't take it for granted at all. That's something that before any of this happened, I was taking every single moment I had for granted. I wasn't living in the moment at that time when I was around people. I was very selfish with my time. And what I realized through all of this is that time is extremely valuable, and who you spend it with is just as equally valuable. And it's amazing what happens when you come to that realization, because that's when the moments that you have with people really are massive for both yourself and for them. It's this feeling of love between that person that you're choosing to spend your time with. And so I just wanted to share my story with you guys because I know that I was gone for 6 months. My Facebook, I completely deactivated it. I didn't post on it. I didn't really do much of anything. But that's what was going on, and I'm in a much better position mentally right now to create even more of what I want in my life. So as bad as all of that seems, I'm extremely thankful for it because of the person I've become because of it. So I just wanted to share that with you. So I want to thank you guys for allowing me to be vulnerable. It's not easy for me to be vulnerable, but it's something that I'm learning how to do. And I'm thankful for you guys, again, allowing me this avenue to be able to let these things that go on in my life be shared with you. And I'm thankful that you're receptive to it as well. And I know this channel is about positivity and motivation, becoming the best version of yourself. But one thing about life is that it is yin and yang. You have the good and you have the bad. And you can't escape the bad. The bad's going to come. But in those times that things are bad, if you can take the lesson out of it, it helps you realize how powerful you actually are. And so understand that if you're going through something right now that seems like it's the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst, just realize that it's making you stronger and it's helping you become that person that you want to become. So again, thank you guys so much. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. If you haven't subscribed at this point, hit that subscribe button. It's down there. Other than that, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Peace.